Helen and Helena are twins and the only children born to Mr. Donald, a millionaire. Because he has no sons, he decided to share his wealth equally among his daughters. This caused a lot of guys to desire to date twins, not for love, but to have access to their share of the properties. Although the twins were identical, something made it easier for them to be distinguished. Helen had a star-like birthmark on her face, while Helena had none. With this, it was easier for people to tell them apart. They kept rejecting several guys' proposals until Helen told her sister one day that she was in love with Jean. Jean was their childhood friend whom they played and did everything with, so Helena was not surprised when her twin sister said she was in love with him. She instead wished her luck. Their relationship went smoothly for the first 3 months until tragedy struck. On the sad day, Helena and her dad were watching the television when they received a phone call from the police informing her that her twin sister Helen had been murdered. She could not accept the news immediately because it was too much for her. About an hour ago, her sister texted her that she was going out with her boyfriend Jean. To add to all the confusion, the police said the CCTV footage from the hotel where Helen was killed showed Jean was a primary suspect in the crime. How was she expected to accept that her twin was dead after she saw her just a while ago, and the murderer was her lovely boyfriend who was still running at large? So she swore to bring her sister's killer to justice, no matter what it may cost her. Today, Parker wants to meet her. Looking back, she was very grateful that Parker had always been there for her after her sister's demise. The day her sister was murdered, she was too broken-hearted that she got herself drunk to drown her sorrows. She ended up getting into a fight at the bar with some bad guys. Luckily for her, Parker showed up right in time to save them and carry her home. From there onwards, he always called to check up on her and help her search for her sister's murderer. It had already been a year, and they are still good friends. They met at the Malice restaurant, where Parker was already waiting. After their meal, she asked him to explain the reason for their meeting. Clearing his throat, he began. "Helena, I love you and want you to be my girlfriend and a part of my life," Parker said. Helena knew this day would surely come, just that she was not ready for it. When her sister was murdered, she promised herself not to fall in love with anyone until she sought revenge for her sister. But it was almost a year since her demise, and they still had no news about the killer. It was as though he had vanished into thin air. Although she had begun developing some feelings for him deep within her, she knew that she must turn down his proposal. But how does she go about it so he does not feel offended? After waiting a while, she mustered courage and told him how she felt. "Parker, I appreciate that you love me and want to be part of your life, but I'm sorry I can't," she said. "Why? Don't you love me?" Parker asked. "Well, I promised my sister to bring her killer to justice, even if it cost me my life, or else I won't ever fall in love," Helena replied. "Are you trying to say I'm so inferior to your dead sister?" Parker asked, out of rage. Since they had been friends, this was the first time Helena had seen him like that. "She is dead and gone for good. Can you just let go of the past and face your future?" Parker continued. Whatever he thought, she wasn't ready to tolerate him feeling that way about his sister. "Parker, since we have our differences, I guess I should say bye for now," Helena said as she walked away from him. Helena was relaxing in her room when she received a phone call. The caller was a waitress at Burnton Hotel, informing her to come for a bag she had left at the hotel. That night she got drunk was when Parker sent her to spend the night. Putting on her clothes, she drove there to check what she had left behind. When she got there, her friend Philip was waiting for her, and the waitress had left behind. "Philip, how come it's you?" Helena asked her old friend. Philip works for the FBI and is the leader of their team working on her sister's case. Without answering, he walked. He told her to follow him into one of the rooms. A package was found in her room after she left, but the bag's contents clearly show that it wasn't for her. "Helena, please know who this bag belongs to and why you have it." Philip, who finally spoke out, asked Helen. "Well, it's not mine. I don't know who it belongs to," said Helena. "Why, what's in the bag? Can I have a look?" she asked Philip. "Sure you can." In the bag was a gun, some knockout pills, and a face mask. It was realistic, and couldn't help the user to assume a new identity. On seeing the new face mask, she was shocked, because that was precisely what Parker looked like. It suddenly occurred to her that her sister's murderer might be using something like this, making it impossible for them to track him down. So she told Philip, who agreed with her and decided to further their investigations into it. However, she did not say to him that the face mask is similar to Parker's face and the possibility that it might be him. What if someone else was trying to use Parker's face instead of knowing about the close relationship between the two of them? Without all the doubts, she decided to find the answers to all the wild questions going through her mind. Although Philip realized that she was keeping him in the dark about something serious, he believed she had unspeakable reasons to do so. Helena received a text message from Parker several days after they quarreled. It read, "Helena, I'm sorry about the other time, and I think I should respect your choices. So please, I hope you can forgive me." She decided to allow him to use the opportunity to confirm his real identity and motive. Although she badly wanted to prove it, she still wanted to see her fears be wrong. "Parker, I think I was wrong the other time too, so I hope we can forgive each other and embrace the moment," she replied to his text. "So I can take it as you accept my proposal?" Parker texted back. "Of course you can," she replied. From that very moment, Helena saw the mask. She had made up her mind to get to the bottom of it at all costs, no matter what she must do to achieve the results, even if it meant dating someone just for her revenge. She was ever ready. Meanwhile, the following week, after accepting to be his girlfriend, he asked for her hand in marriage. When Helen asked why, whether it was too abrupt, she said it was okay since he had known her for a long time. Her dad was not against it because he only wanted his daughter's happiness. A few days later, Parker and Helena got married. After getting married, Helena decided to move in with Parker and stay in the same room with him to have ample time to monitor his movement. However, just as expected from Parker, he rejected the idea of them staying in the same room. This only made Helena suspicious. What was he trying to hide from her? Since she couldn't use this means, she went for other options. The following day was Parker's birthday, and they planned to make it in grand style. Just as expected, Helena, however, had other plans for his birthday, so she ensured she selected a location far from home and invited many of her friends to the party. Just as the party was about to reach its peak, she feigned having menstrual cramps and asked permission from her husband Parker to take the lead. On reaching the house, she removed the duplicate key to Parker's room that she got from her dad the day before after lying that the one she had was broken. She then began to search for anything that might confirm Parker's identity. Just as she was about to give up, her leg hit something hard under the bed. Checking it out, she found that it was a valise similar to the one the FBI agents had in their possession. Opening it, she found the shock of her lifetime. In the valise, another face mask was similar to Parker's face, hence confirming her worst fears. Who then was she married to? Grabbing the face mask, she hid it under the bed. Just as she was about to open the door, someone else did. To her surprise, it was Parker. What was he doing in the house at that time? Was he not supposed to be at the party? Before she left, she carefully planned everything to ensure he could not leave the party grounds until it was over. The thought that they had caught her made her sweat profusely, and goosebumps appeared all over her body. "Parker," Helena began to stammer. "Helena, I have something to tell you," he said, pulling her to sit on the bed. "I came here to inform you that you have been scammed all along. I'm the real Parker, and the one you're married to is the fake one. How is that possible? What if he's the one that does all the tricks?" Wild thoughts began to run through her mind. "Well, I know you might not believe me, but then all I'm telling you now is true. The real Parker kidnapped me after having news about your sister's murder spread. The fake Parker is your sister's murderer in disguise. To avoid being caught, he kidnapped me and lived with my identity safely." "What? You mean I'm married to my sister's murderer?" Helena asked Parker as tears began to roll down her cheeks freely. But then she decided to confirm Parker's identity anyway. She pulled the skin on his face to check whether it was real. Just as expected, he was the real Parker. "Helena, I think we should get out of here before the fake Parker finds out that you are not at the party and that I have also escaped, or else we will be in trouble." They were about to leave when someone opened the door. It was their nightmare come true. The fake Parker, whose real name was Jack, stood at the doorway with the gun. "No one goes anywhere. Since you know about my real identity, I guess there is no need for me to hide my face again," Jack said as he ripped off the mask from his face, revealing his ugly face. "Oh, wicked you are," Helena cried out. "Ha! It's rather sad you noticed it too late, my dear little wife. From the beginning, I realized that you suspected me all along, so I intentionally left a loose end for you to carry out your investigation. I thought you had some sense to at least doubt how your inquest went so smoothly, but unexpectedly you are just as stupid as your sister." "Ha!" Jack laughed out. "But now it's too late. And you, Parker, you're just as ridiculous as the twins. So you thought you were able to escape from my grip on your own? You never realized that I intentionally left the key for you to escape, for you to begin to make my plan foolproof. Jack, why did you marry me?" Then Helena asked as tears began to roll down her cheeks uncontrollably. "Well, I can tell you now because you'll be dying anyway. It's pretty simple. I married you for the money." "Or, my little wife, did you think that I was interested in you?" Jack said. "I guess I can give you a quick, painless death. Everything happened in a flash when the FBI agents broke in and slammed him into the door, making it impossible for him to react. By the time he knew what was happening, he had been handcuffed. Jack, you thought your plan was foolproof, but thanks to Helena, I realized we missed out on an important clue. I hope you remember that one misplaced bag. Well, when I asked Helena about the contents, her reaction showed that she had no idea who the owner might be. But do you know what? She decided to find herself rather than report you to us because she trusted you. But then you proved to her that you were not worth it. Miss Helena, I'm sorry, but the necklace your dad gave you at the wedding had a GPS tracker and a recorder embedded in it to track all your movement and prevent any casualties. Take him away," Phil commanded as Jack was dragged away. "Finally, Helena, I've been able to bring you the justice you deserve," Helena said before finally collapsing to the floor.